What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for the post-mortem as Forest have beaten Tottenham 3-0 yesterday at the City Ground. And I was there yesterday, and oh my days, it was probably worse in person than it was watching it here from your screens. But I can't believe how bad it was yesterday, you know. I really cannot believe how bad it was. You know, you go up there with all the hope and belief after, you know, Spurs seemingly looked like they could potentially be turning a corner with some positive displays, positive result in Newcastle. We backed that up with a really good, convincing win against Brentford. We get over the line against Slavia Prague, albeit I thought we, you know, conceded a bit too many chances, but we showed attacking intent in that game and you know, more or less definitely deserved the victory, and we move on. And you think this game against Forest is another real big opportunity in the Premier League to get another win, 17th in the table. And they've lost 2 out of their last 3 games, last one losing 3-0 against Everton. And it was a performance that just completely lacked any sort of grit, lacked any sort of belief from our players, lacked ability to make a 5-yard pass from the majority of the players. I think Mickey van der Ven and Rodrigo Bentancur, I swear, like they couldn't make a 5-yard pass for pretty much the whole game. And it's just so frustrating, man. I believe that now Spurs, in terms of errors leading to a goal, sits second in the Premier League, which is, how is that even possible? It's like ridiculous, man. No sort of tactical flexibility from Frank to be able to turn the game in our favour. There was just nothing on that pitch to go on. We got completely overawed by this aggressive Nottingham Forest side where Spurs showed no aggressive edge to their game whatsoever. I think, you know, Cuti Romero was trying in terms of that nature, but he couldn't do it alone. No other player could seemingly step up to the challenge that Nottingham Forest were facing us. They were, you know, beating us in all the 50-50 challenges all over the pitch. It's just back to, you know, I actually think that was probably our worst display of the season. Like,
when you take in consideration who we played.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've had such disastrous displays this season. You know, Arsenal. The list is like literally endless.
It's growing.
The list is endless. You got Arsenal, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Monaco, Boda. Which ones am I missing out? Fulham.
Fulham.
You know what I mean? Wolves. Like, it's like a never-ending list. And just as you think you're turning that corner, they're here to slap you in the face with another one that's probably the worst of the lot against this Nottingham Forest side. And it's just unbelievable,
and
man.
I guess the big problem as well for Frank after this game, obviously, you have that disastrous performance as well, but the big problem is we like all the things like we were saying needed to change, and he kind of got this formula. It seemed against Brentford, you know, Gray and Bentancur together, Xavi in the 10, Kudus on the right, Moani off the left. You know, the strongest back 5 we have, Spence inverting, all these different things. And it seemed, okay, he's got a formula that can, you know, get us attacking, get us looking good, being a bit, you know, we didn't give many chances away to Brentford, who were defensively solid, the fullbacks are flying up. So it's, okay, that's your, mate, is that your strongest 11? You know, that's probably the best front 4 players we have at the club, all in the team. So you have that kind of formula that they got against Brentford, and then against Forest, it's like one of the worst we've seen. So how does he move forward from here? So is that not the answer then? Is Frank completely back to square one and trying to find a balance again in that team when it looked like he found it, and it's now gone completely out the window? So where does he go from here? What changes does he make? Because all the changes he makes, unless maybe he's putting Richarlison on the bench, Moani up front and bring a left winger in, like all the changes he makes is going to get a negative response. What change could he make to that 11 that is going to, apart from Rishi out, that is going to get a positive response?
I don't think there is one. I think maybe
Paulinho
you're clutching at straws, you know, maybe Bergvall in the team, maybe Tell in the team. I don't know. I don't think there is one.
That's a massive issue. Yeah, so like that, if that's your best 11 and that's the 11 like all the fans want to see and that's what they're serving up, like it's kind of like, what do we do now? Like what do we do with the upcoming games? Do we just persist with this 11 and hope that we never see what we saw yesterday again? Knowing Frank, he's a tinker man. He'll probably tinker with something. I don't know.
Wasn't it the first time this season that we've actually gone from Premier League to exactly the same
unchanged?
11?
It must be. I can't remember another situation. He's tinkered with so many different styles of build-up, formation. He kind of settled on this one. It worked against Brentford, but now it hasn't worked. So is he going to tinker again, or is he going to trust it?
Everyone keeps going, stop tinkering, stop changing it so drastically. And the one time where he goes exactly the same from a good performance, exactly the same 11, and it's an absolute shit show. So I mean, I genuinely, I'm lost for explanations and answers of how we move forward and how we get a sort of consistent level out of this team. I'm really lost. I genuinely don't know.
But we talk about consistency and inconsistency. The reality is that Brentford game was a one-off.
Absolutely.
We are a consistent team. We're just consistently poor.
Yeah,
that's the truth. We're like, people say, oh, you know, with young teams and new managers, there's going to be inconsistency, and I get that. That's fair, but we're not inconsistent. We're poor way more often than we're not. When you're talking about giving, and I know I'm going straight to Frank, but when you talk about giving a manager time, you're talking about giving him time for a project, and I think that's fair enough. But when you're assessing how a manager's doing, there's going to be bad spots. I get that, but there should be some good ones as well. We haven't seen many good from this manager at all.
Yeah, no,
it's really rare. Like,
agree.
you're literally clutching at straws when you're looking at the good moments. A lot of them, by the way, were used up probably in the first two games.
Yeah.
After City and PSG, those two games, you take those away, we're literally clutching at the thinnest of straws when you're talking about positives.
Yeah.
That Brentford game, a half an hour spell against Brighton where we played quite well. A good win against Everton where we relied on set pieces. It's literally, we are so bad on the ball. It's incredible how bad we are. How are we now 16 games in, 25 in all competitions? We're in December, we're going to the Christmas period, and we still have no discernible kind of idea of how to keep possession, how to build up from the back, how to progress through the lines, how to create chances consistently, how to break teams down. Our intensity seems to swing wildly from game to game. One game we look really intense, the next game we look completely off it. We had a 5-day break from the last game. Forest played on Thursday. I know they made a lot of changes, but they played on Thursday. Probably a lot of their players came off the bench, so a lot of their players probably played. So, if anyone should have been lagging a bit, it should have been them. They had to travel to Holland. We didn't. We played on Tuesday. So why the hell was our intensity way off it and they look completely fresh and sharp?
There's no excuses for it. There is no excuses for it. And I'm telling you now, what we're being served up on a consistent basis now, from pretty much the start of the season to now, has been, in my opinion, a sackable offence. It really has. We've been that bad. And I think probably where we're at in the league, what are we, 11th in the league right now?
At the moment, yeah.
That probably puts a bit of gloss on how we've been playing this season. I think we deserve, with what we're performing consistently, we should be lower down than that, in my opinion. I look at the teams below us and I think, some of those teams probably have been better than us this season. And that's a damning statement in terms of where Spurs are at right now. And I genuinely believe it is a sackable offence, but what do we do now? Because I genuinely believe it as well. You can't sack him, because where do we turn?
They won't sack him. But I think it's a similar issue to last season, in a sense that you're looking at, okay, do we sack him? But then, do you just want to put an interim in charge? Is there a real manager that you can appoint on a full-time basis right now without trying to get them out of a club that they're already in, who you believe is a good long-term fit for the club and you want to give a long contract? Probably not. Is there a manager who maybe can just be, I don't know, let's say Harry Redknapp or whatever, a manager who think, okay, let's give you or Sherwood when we appointed him, can we give you a 6-month contract and give you to the end of the season either to prove yourself or just to be a stopgap? I don't know who that person would be. Do we give an interim like Cochrane or even Matt Wells, who's about to be a manager maybe somewhere else? Do we look at him and think, okay, you can be interim for 6 months? I guess what is the use in that? But then again, the football we are getting served up by this manager is absolutely dire, and fans are, I don't know if it's running or have run out of patience, either one. I think it's becoming unwatchable, this football. It's been unwatchable for a large part of the season, but I think when you're getting dominated as bad as we are against a team like Forest, who I know have got good players and probably are in a bit of a false position with the quality of players they got, but still they've been really poor this season for large parts. They don't exactly play expansive football. especially since Sean Dyche has come in. They got absolutely battered by Everton last week, and yet they play against us and they're knocking it about. They're laying us for half an hour or 20 minutes. They're laying us at the end of the game. It's embarrassing. How of Sean Dyche, if you ask me what manager is the least likely to manage a team who's laying anyone, I'll probably say Sean Dyche is near the top of the list.
Mad, isn't it?
And yet there he is, playing like prime Barcelona, knocking it around, Tottenham chasing shadows, and the fans are lapping it up, and it's just embarrassing.
You know, it's become a regular occurrence just to sit in an away end now and just be completely embarrassed of what our team is serving up. Like, the last 2 away games I've been to in the Premier League is Arsenal and Nottingham Forest, and by the end of the game, both the away ends were completely empty. You know, we went up there, we're like, yeah, you know, Spurs are giving us a Christmas present, they're giving us the scarves, what a great football club, you know, they're giving back to the fans and all that, but when you get served that dross on the pitch, it means absolutely nothing. Like, yeah, great, we got a scarf, what-de-do? You know what I mean? I think most fans were using it as a blindfold during the game more than anything else. It's just like, it's so embarrassing. That moment that you're talking about when they're all laying us and the whole stadium is singing, you got your scarf, now fuck off home, and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, you just want the ground to swallow you up. And I was one of the ones that actually, like, I didn't stay till the end of Arsenal, but I stuck it out to the end yesterday. And I probably wish I didn't, because I was just sitting there and getting bantered for literally 20 minutes, 25 minutes from Nottingham Forest fans.
Yeah.
It's just mental. Like, against Arsenal, you can kind of understand it because, you know, they are the best team in the league at this moment in time. They're top of the league. They've got an unbelievable squad and they've been growing for years. Like, this Nottingham Forest side, they sacked 2 managers this season. They're sitting 17th in the league and they're bantering us. Mm-hmm. Like, what has the world come to? It's just madness.
In terms of how the game went, in terms of like the goals we conceded and the chance we created, in terms of the goals we conceded, I do blame Frank for. You do have to lay some blame on Frank because, first of all, that Sangari goal, which they obviously great strike, don't get me wrong, fantastic. But how many times now have we conceded a goal from that kind of range this season? Just in recent weeks, it seems to be happening on a gamely basis. We conceded a goal from outside the box, no pressure on the ball, allowing them a free shot. Okay, fair enough. That, you know, I put some blame on Frank. The first goal, we're starting to make more and more mistakes. Surely, as the season goes on, you're supposed to be getting better and better from build-up as you learn what Frank wants to do and how he wants to build up and how he wants the team to function when we have the ball. Yet, in recent weeks, we are making more and more mistakes from build-up.
So, like I said it before, but I read a stat saying that no team apart from Wolves have made more errors leading to a goal than Spurs this season. Mm-hmm. Like, how? Why are our players making so many errors? Why does this keep happening game after game after game, error after error? I read a stat, I don't know how true it is, maybe you can verify it for me, but I think Spurs Express or someone brought out a stat saying that 72% of our goals have been Vicario's fault or something this season.
I saw that stat. I don't know if that's true. Look, I have to go. We would have to go through it one by one. I don't know. It depends how they. That seems
incredibly high.
I don't think it's like necessary. I don't know how they portion blame.
Yeah.
Is it an error because it's like an official error, like from Opta, or is it because from the eye test, Vicario's at fault? I don't know how they... like, for example, the first goal that we conceded against Fulham, is that a Vicario error because it went in? I don't know. The second one definitely was. Like, how many goals against Arsenal were Vicario's fault? I don't really know many of those were his fault that I can remember. So I don't know. I don't know how they calculate that. So I'll be sceptical of that stat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. But I don't know if you noticed this yesterday, but there was a moment in the game, I think it was after the second goal went in, I felt like, watching it on the pitch, that the players just didn't want to pass back to Vicario. I felt like there was a bit of like, I don't know what the word is, maybe the players are losing a bit of trust in him. I felt like they didn't want to pass back to him. They wanted to have him on the ball as little time as possible. And I just felt there was something there yesterday, which I've never noticed before.
I didn't notice that, but look, being there, you notice different things. I mean, that would be damning on him. Obviously, he has made quite a few mistakes on the ball. And I remember even going back to the pre-season under Ange, remember he was gifting goals away from playing out the back. Like, I know that was pre-season, but it's just something he has never really got on top of, has it, Vicario? It doesn't matter how much training he's got. He just never seems comfortable. He does panic. He always has this air of panic, and he doesn't have composure. And that is one of, if not his biggest weakness.
If we're going to play the way that we're going to play, we need a goalkeeper that can play out the back. That's just a reality. You know, you can be an unbelievable shot stopper and all that kind of stuff, but if we're going to persist with the way that we're going to play, playing out the back, you need a goalkeeper that can play out the back. That's just reality.
Most teams play out the back now these days. I mean,
most teams have keepers that can play out the back, though.
That Man City, they play out the back. Donnarumma is not exactly the best.
It's true, but Donnarumma has only been in this season. Every other year, they've had a goalkeeper that can play out the back.
Yeah.
You know, most keepers now can play out the back. You know, it's very rare now for keepers not being able to do that.
In terms of the first goal, there's been a big debate online who's at fault for that goal. Jamie Carragher was blaming Vicario. Thomas Frank blamed Gray. Porro came out in an interview saying it was a mistake from Gray. I don't like that we're now fighting about who's to blame, but in the stands, was there any particular
in the stands it was more in Vicario. There was so much frustration coming from the away end to Vicario, man. Like literally, he was the one getting the most grief out of anyone in the away end, for sure. And look, when you're in the away end, it's up the other end of the pitch. It's hard to see it, completely spot on. But when I saw it afterwards, I just think it's a shit show from both of them, to be honest. I think it's a poor pass from Vicario, where how many times have we got to say, Vicario, just lump it, Vicario, just clip it out to someone out wide, just do something. Don't play a hospital ball to Archie Gray. Even if it's a poor ball and it's to his wrong foot, I think Archie Gray could do more than that and could spray it somewhere. But yeah, I think it's just a shit show all round. But I don't like Frank and Porro coming out and blaming Archie Gray, a 19-year-old central midfielder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I think when you look at that situation, I think Gray has to pass that first time. That's what Frank is saying. But the pass was not a good pass. Vicario, for some reason, by the way, he had Van der Ven to his left, so that was an easy pass. For some reason, he decides to take on his weaker foot and play it to Archie Gray, who's running towards goal. Now, that is a situation that is going to happen thousands of times, hundreds of times during the season. So it's not like that's like I don't like people saying, oh, he should just lump it forward or all that kind of stuff. No, you're training to play out the back. That should be a very simple situation to deal with. You pass into Gray, he's got to run on his midfield marker, and he passes it off to Romero. That is like something that's going to happen hundreds, thousands of times during the season. So I don't have a massive problem for Vicario doing that pass. However, the pass wasn't good. It was bobbling. It was on Gray's weak foot. So it kind of forced him to take a touch in a way. But is Gray a good enough player to just gently with his left foot nudge that over to Romero first time without having to take a touch? He probably is. But it wasn't a good pass. And the pass encouraged a touch, put it that way. If he just calmly puts the pass to Gray's right foot and he's able to just knock it off easily to Romero, probably doesn't happen. But I think the quality of pass from Vicario definitely what puts him in trouble. I feel like people are criticising Vicario just for the fact that he passed to Gray in general, and I don't like that. I think that's the way we play, and I think that should be a simple move. It's not a difficult thing to do. Pass into Gray, he gives it off to Romero. That's not like even though he's got a player pressing him, that's still a pretty simple move. That's like things that most Premier League players on teams do. So I don't have a problem with him passing it to Gray in that situation.
But it's not choice, it's quality.
Yeah, it's a shit pass, and there's also shit from Gray for poor control from him, and he should have played it first time.
Why is he controlling it though? Like, I know it's gone on his wrong foot, and I know it's bobbling, and it's not the great pass, but you got to have more awareness about you and what's coming behind you. You know, he's running towards it, he's calling for it, and he gets it. Even if it's on his wrong foot, at least try to do something apart from take that touch.
Yeah,
he should know what's coming from behind him.
It's a mistake from him, but I think it is borne out from Vicario's poor pass in general. If it's a better pass, I do think he plays it first time. But I also think Gray does make a mistake. He takes a poor touch, and he could have played it first time as well. So I think they're both to blame. I think probably more Gray, but I think Vicario is not blameless whatsoever. It's terrible decision making. It's terrible decision making from him to play it with his weak foot in that situation when Van der Ven's there. But if you're going to play the pass to Gray, make it a good pass. And it cost us a goal. And that's obviously I mean, before then, they obviously hit the post already for us. They're already creating chances. We just barely looked in the game throughout the whole game. You could see from the first 5 minutes, we were completely off it.
Yeah. I said to Brian in the away, and after like the first couple of minutes of the game, I was like, we just look a shambles over here. Like, you could tell from the first minute, literally. Like, we had no sort of quality about us to make a 5-yard pass. It's just mad. Like, and in terms of like physicality and trying to dominate in that sense, like there was just nothing there. Like Forest were able to dominate us physically in every single part of the pitch. Like at half-time we were 1-0 down, right? It could have been 3 or 4. That's the reality. Like 3-0 flattered us massively in that game yesterday. And we're back to the bloody, what was it, 0.45 XG, what was it?
3.
0.3. Fucking hell, man.
That was the lowest XG anyone's created against Forest this season. And they've, I know they've not been good, but still, I mean, we're the lowest, so we're technically the worst team Forest have played this season.
And you know what, like, Archie Gray makes that mistake. He's a kid coming through, and we've all given him praise over this course of this season of how he's conducted himself and how he's played. At least he was the only one that actually drove forward and wanted to have a go at Nottingham Forest. He had that swivel kind of volley that forced to save out the keeper. That was the only chance we had the whole game. That's the only chance we had the whole game.
So embarrassing. I was looking at the XG numbers for this game, as I usually do, and there was a chance that makes up for basically most of our XG, which was Spence, who had a header blocked. I don't even remember that. When did he ever have a header blocked in
I don't know.
on the pitch? I don't remember that whatsoever. So there's the chance that makes up the majority of our XG is a chance I don't even remember. I don't even know. I'm doubtful what happened. I'm questioning that. Honestly, I don't know if
If you don't remember it, no one's going to remember
it. Frank said after the game, the first 2 goals were individual errors. So he's putting down Hudson-Odoi's second goal as an individual error. I'm guessing he's blaming Vicario. I don't know who else he'd be blaming.
So I thought Vicario's positioning was a bit weird for that, and maybe if he positions himself a bit differently, but I think it's just a massive slice of luck, that goal.
He's not expecting it to go that way.
It's a cross that floats all the way in. It happens from time to time, and look, like I said, I think his positioning was a bit off. But
he does get fingertips to it, so he does get a bit of a hand to it.
I don't know, man. It's just poor. It is poor from Vicario,
and
but
also it lands.
It's
in the
a massive
slice
of luck.
It lands in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
So I think if I'm Vicario, I'm disappointed with that. As much as it is a slice of luck, like, could he have dealt better with that? I think there's an argument he could have. He does get a bit of a hand to it. It lands in the bottom corner. As much as it is unexpected, that obviously he's trying to cross it. I think Vicario probably could do a bit better with that, to be honest. I think he probably could have tipped it over. So he was caught out unintentionally, but I don't think he covered himself much glory in that situation. Obviously, the third goal was the third goal. That's just a great strike. I think the biggest thing for me, I think the goals, when I think about Frank, I don't. Obviously, I put some blame on him, but I'm not mad about Frank for the goals we conceded, as much as he takes his blame for that as well. I'm not mad at him specifically. I think a lot of that does come down to individuals. I am more mad at Frank with, yet again, the whole 90 minutes we create jack shit. And not only do we create nothing, we don't look like creating anything. We never threaten. We never get near the box. We have one method of attack, which again is either a transition, which I think we looked pitiful for most of the time, or it's basically give it to Kudus or cross it in. And you're crossing into Murillo and Milenkovic up against Richarlison. Who thinks that's a good way of attacking? Who thinks that's ever going to be something that's ever going to bear fruit? That's obviously a losing strategy. I have to say, Xavi didn't have a great game, but at least he was trying things. He was making some poor decisions.
There was no movement around him.
There was no movement.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Apart from 1 or 2 displays like we've mentioned that we can take stuff from, there was no movement. Like Xavi is actually picking up some really good positions, and when he's on the ball, I thought he was doing a lot of good work at times, but there's no runners off him, so what's he supposed to do? And with Kudus was massively frustrating me yesterday, because Kudus was seeing a lot of the ball down that right-hand side, and he was just barging in. He would literally just barge into Nottingham Forest players and losing the ball.
Yeah, they had like 3-4 players around him every time.
It's just like, to pass the ball. Like, you don't have to barge into them. You don't have to try and take everyone on every single time. Like, Let's build up some attacks. You don't have to, like I said yesterday, like I keep saying week in, week out, like too many individuals on this team are just trying to do it all themselves. And it wasn't just Kudus yesterday. I thought Moani was doing the same thing. I thought Jed Spence was doing the same. Like all these players are just, there's no teamwork there. It's everyone just on their own little side quests. Like where's the teamwork? Like we had teamwork against Brentford. Where's that all gone in this game? It just feels like everyone's just trying to do it all on their own. And you can't win a game like that in the Premier League. You just can't.
And I agree. I think Kudus has got to be smart in the sense that if you've got 3 or 4 players around you, because clearly teams are targeting you, because clearly you're a main threat, 'cause you're the only one who can dribble in the way he can. You've got to be smart. If you've got 3 players around you, that means some players are going to be free. So you pop it off quickly and exploit the space. It's like he just wants to hang on to it. He's not interested in passing to his teammates or anything like that. It's just very frustrating watching that at points. And I think we have he's got players near him like Xavi and Gray and whatever. We've got to be able to exploit the space. It's like we've got no plan whatsoever. It's like the plan is to get to Kudus and his job is to dribble. It's not to do anything else. That's like what he's been asked to do.
Yeah.
And the lack of any sort of threat as well. We had chances getting on the edge of the box. I see it, and I think Stell pointed out as well. I see it. We get to the edge of the box, and there's maybe an opportunity to get a shot on goal, and we don't take it. And I think again that is hesitancy drilled in from the manager to not take those kind of efforts because they're low XG chances, and essentially I think he thinks they're a waste of time. He thinks you're unlikely to score those chances, so why bother? You might as well try and cross it in, because if you do get something on the end of that cross, that's going to be a high XG chance rather than shooting low. And I'm not saying we should have a tactic of always just shooting when we get to the edge of the box, because that's fine. But on occasion, you should give it a go, give it a dig. And it feels like he doesn't like that. Another thing I also picked up on yesterday, which I don't like, and I think we've seen it all season, is defensively. When we are in this mode where the team have a bit of possession and we're in our own defensive third, like, being compact and whatever, I hate the fact that it seems as though even our striker Richarlison is also back in our defensive third, and he's also like basically either on the edge of the box or he's like 30 yards from goal. Like, I understand we want to defend as a team, but what it leads to is when we do win the ball back, we have no outlet. We have absolutely nothing. So we're either lumping the ball forward. Either you're asking Kudus or Moani or Richarlison to pick the ball up 30 yards from our own goal and charge the ball up the pitch and create a counter. And as soon as they get to the Forest half, they're basically out of energy. They're basically not got any energy left because they've got so much length for the pitch to go to the opposition goal. They've got no energy once they get to the Forest half. So we run out of momentum. Or we play a long ball to no one because we've got no one up front because everyone's back defending.
And it just comes back again.
So why not leave at least one player up front to try and hold the ball or to try and launch a counter? It seems like he's so focused on making sure everyone is back in the defensive third. We've got no outlet. So that's why we don't really score goals from counters either. The only time we score from a transition is when we win it in the middle third, and then we can pounce on them quickly. If we ever win it in our defensive third, we've got no method of attacking. We've got no transitional threat because we're so far away from the opposition goal. We always end up losing it. We always end up either losing momentum when we're running forward or lumping it forward to no one. So that is something that Frank has not been able to figure out. That's been happening all season, and it's a hard watch. And it also means we get penned in. It means it's very easy to pen us in because as soon as you get us in our defensive third, every player is there, which means it's very easy to build momentum against us. And it also means it probably leads to a lot of what we're seeing, which is long-range shots and stuff like that, because we allow long-range shots, and so we allow that momentum to build against us. And it's shocking. And we have to talk about those subs. What is he doing?
I was so angry at the subs at the time. It's just like you're 2-0 down. You're trying to find something that can, get one goal back. It's half an hour to go, 25 minutes to go still in the game. If you get one back, it's game on. You need 2 goals, and you're bringing on João Palhinha and Ben Davis. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, what is the thinking behind it? I think Ben Davis, I think he came on and, I think he shored up that left-hand side a little bit better than what Jed was doing, because I thought they got a lot of joy down that side when Jed was there. But there was just no attacking intent. At least Jed was having a bit of a go going forward. Like, Ben Davies and João Palhinha are not going to do anything to overturn a 2-0 deficit. All it felt like he was just he didn't want more goals to get conceded as opposed to, you know, trying to get back in the game.
Like, when you're 2-0 down, and in theory you would like to think the objective of the last however long, half an hour, whatever, when they made the subs, would be, okay, we need to press higher. We need to put more risk to the game. We need to push the players higher. So
we went for damage limitations.
It's not... But you don't bring on Davis to Spence. The number one defender you would want in that situation is Spence.
Yeah.
He's the defender you want because he can defend one-on-one. He has the pace to cover large spaces if they do catch that on the counter-attack. He's the one who's going to be pushing up because he's got pace and he can take people on, potentially, and get to the byline. The last person you want in that situation is Ben Davies, because he's not going to cross the halfway line. He's not going to push forward. And if we do leave space, he's going to get caught out with his lack of pace, and he's not very good in one-on-one situation. He needs help. And that's pretty much what happened. He came on, he didn't cross the halfway line. He basically didn't really shore things up anyway. Hutchinson was having a pretty good game anyway, but I don't understand the thinking of, we're 2-0 down, we're going to have to push up now, we're going to have to leave some space in behind because we're going to have to go to try and get back in the game, and you bring on Ben Davies. That makes zero sense to me. Now, Paulinho and Bergvall, I can kind of get because our midfield were being bullied, so he wanted to change something. Bergvall obviously has a bit more forward thinking. Maybe he's thinking Paulinho, you bring him on, and if we're pushing forward, you know, he can kind of cover up some space. But you also know that he's so limited on the ball. He's not exactly going to drag you back into the game with his ability on the ball. It's going to be him just winning tackles and trying to get you up the pitch that way, or making sure that they're limited on the counter. But didn't really work either, to be honest. But I don't know why he persists. I've been defending Rishi, but he was having a shocker. You take him off, you put Moani up top, and you bring on a winger. I don't understand what's so difficult about that. He took off Moani.
I know. Moani was our only one looking like he could potentially do anything.
He was dribbling, actually, and getting past people. Yeah. There was one point, I think he went past like 3 players, and he had a transition. He screwed up himself. He should have passed it. But still, that showed like he can do something. Rishi was just having an all-time stinker. Like, he had to come off. And it was very simple, but I don't know why he didn't do that immediately. On the hour mark, when he made those subs, you bring on Tell or Odebear, put him on the left, put Wani up front, you have a more attacking threat. For some reason, he just couldn't see it. He just didn't do it. His decisions were baffling. The attack was non-existent. I mean, the more and more we see these performances, it's getting harder and harder to justify him being the manager here.
Yeah. It's very true. Like I said, I think up to this point, with the amount of stinkers that we've seen, and this is like all-time stinkers. This is not even just like, yeah, you're right, you had a bit of a bad performance and we move from. This is like proper stinkers where we don't even look like scoring. We don't have any chance, even half chances to score, and we're getting open up, you know, consistently throughout the game. Where a lot of these stinkers that we've had, we've conceded goals, but we should have conceded a hell of a lot more in the game as well. So there's a long list growing, and they are sackable offences, but it's just about what you think a plan could be moving forward after that. And I don't even think there is another alternative plan that kind of saves the season for us. Like, that's where we're at right now. What's that saying?
Romano, just reading, he said there's pressure, there's internal talks, but still waiting to see results improving. Frank knows that the rhythm must change soon.
Yeah, look, he's a man seriously under pressure. Thomas Frank right now, and we've been saying that for weeks and weeks, and it looked like, you know, he kind of, the pressure died down a little bit after the last couple of results, but it's bang there now, bang in there now.
I'm listening to Frank, and he's like, you know, after 3 good performances, you know, it was a bad performance, like trying to say, oh, you know, actually in good form it was just a one-off. Like, no, I'm not having it. And also, he's lumping in the Newcastle game as a good performance. I'm sorry, it just wasn't. And we were saying at the time, we got absolutely lucky with a absolute shank of an overhead kick in the last minute to get a result in that game. We deserved nothing in that game. We got very, very low. We barely created anything. Newcastle were truly deserved winners in that game, and we got absolutely lucky to get anything out of that game. So the fact that he's lumping that in with the good performances seriously worries me. And he's done that a few times, calling certain performances good when they just haven't been, and that's for this level. But he does say after the game, you know, what he said. He was asked if he's going to get time or if he thinks he's going to get time. He says, I don't see why not, because anyone in this job needs time and it's not a quick fix. So
Look,
that's what he's saying. Obviously, he's going to defend his own job, but
yeah, look, what else is he going to say that, he needs time? Like, of course, he's going to say he needs time. And look, the reality is any manager that's coming into this job probably does need time. However, he should be doing a hell of a lot better with what he's got at his disposal from the start of the season till now. Like, I think a lot of managers can do a lot better straight from the start. Look, Ange came in, first 10 games of the season, he smashed it out of the park. You know what I mean? Yeah, it dropped after that and the injuries. But, I was a big advocate for sacking Ange last season, right? And I was a big advocate once Frank came in that this guy's the man for the job. Ange Postecoglou last season in an injury-ravaged team did a lot better than what Frank is doing right now. And that's the reality. And like Frank... Yeah, fine, he's had a few injuries to contend with, but he still had Mickey van der Ven and Coutinho Romero for the most part of the season. He still had a capable 11 to pick from every single week, I'm not having that injuries are hampering Frank right now, because they're not. Yeah, I know Maddison's out, Kulusevski's out, and he has had injuries, but nowhere near to the level of what Ange Postecoglou had. And even when we were losing every week under Ange with all those injuries, struggling to field an 11, I genuinely think it's better than what we're seeing right now.
And even last season, it was only really right at the end where we were getting absolutely battered, and when we were not in games. Even during the height of the injury crisis, a lot of the games were very close. We're losing by the odd goal. Not saying we were unlucky or we didn't deserve to lose, but they were close games. We would create chances, we would concede stupid goals, but the games were way more even than we're seeing now.
And he's got more now. He's got Kudus now. He's got Javi now. He's got Palhinha now. You know what I mean?
It was only really when we were focusing on the Europa League, when we played those games like Liverpool away, Palace at home, like those were real batterings, and those are like what we're seeing now. But we were going for the Europa League at that point. During the season, when we were at the height of the injury crisis, mid-season, when we were losing games, we were losing 1-0, 2-1, like close games. And yes, it was not good enough, but it was tight, and we were losing tightly with an injury-ravaged team. Now we've got a pretty much full 11. I know we've got long-term injuries, but in going into the season, we knew that. This isn't a surprise that we have these long-term injuries. We must have planned for it. So this isn't like it's happened mid-season. All the injuries we've got now have been there since pretty much the beginning of the season. So we've planned for that, and yet we're not in games. We're getting absolutely trounced. We lost 3 games last season by more than 2 goals, I think. I think we've already lost how many games now by more than 2?
Well, there's Arsenal, there's Forest. There was one more in there, wasn't there? Or is that it?
To be fair, it might have only been... Is it only those 2? No, it can't be. What other games we lost by more than... Well, we lost PSG, but that was by 2. What other games we lost? Forest. Well, okay, so maybe it's only those 2.
Yeah, but it's not even halfway through the season.
Yeah. And, there's some games we should have lost by more.
But look, it'll be, if we go on the shoulda, woulda, coulda, I'm sure there were games under Angela last season where we should have lost by more than 1 goal, you know what I mean? So we can sit here analysing each and every game and all the stats and everything that we remember from the game.
The more damning thing is, this season, we have played 16 games. In 10 of them, 10 games out of 16, we've created less than 1 XG.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. I've never known a Spurs team, and I've seen some bloody poor Spurs teams over my time, I've never known a Spurs team to create as little as this, Obviously, we had the Nuno, kind of 10 games from Nuno, and that was probably very similar in terms of chance creation, but apart from that little period where he got sacked after 10 games, I don't remember any other Spurs manager creating so little. And everyone was saying, oh, Jose Mourinho and Conte, such defensive football. We created a hell of a lot more each and every game under them.
They had a plan. They had a plan of attacking. Whatever you want to say about Conte and Mourinho, when we did attack, we attacked. And we were looking dangerous. And we looked like, I know we had Son and Kane, but we had a plan to score goals.
Yeah.
Like there was a clear plan of action. This is how we're going to attack. I don't see a plan at the moment. And it didn't take Conte long to implement it. It didn't take Mourinho long to implement it. You shouldn't need half a season to start seeing green shoots.
Both those managers came in halfway through a season as well.
Exactly. The whole thing, give it time. Again, as I say, I understand that, and that's fair enough. But at the end of the day, you need to be showing what you're trying to implement. You need to be inconsistent. If you're an inconsistent, that means there is also some good as long as some bad. We're not seeing much good at the moment at all. When you're looking at giving a manager time, you have to see some green shoots of improvement and what he's trying to do. I don't think anyone is happy with what we're seeing right now. In terms of what the aim is, I don't think anyone really buys into what he's trying to do, even if it's going well, let alone right now when it's going horrendously.
I think the players just look completely lost on the pitch. I don't even know if they're not buying into it. They're not showing any sort of fighting for the manager on any sort of consistent basis. So I genuinely don't know what we're doing here.
Spence is looking,
Jed Spence yesterday, man, and it's not the first time, you know what I mean? We saw the thing where after Chelsea, he completely blanked Thomas Frank. He gets taken off. He chucks his shirt. I saw it in front of my own eyes. He chucks his shirt down. He goes and sits down, and he's literally staring at Frank for the rest of the game, and he's making signals, and it looks like he's just complaining about Frank. Obviously, we don't know what's actually being said on the sidelines there, but it looks like he was just complaining about Frank. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like. So optically, it looks awful from every aspect, and I just can't see any belief from these players from what Frank is trying to do at Tottenham right now. That's the poorest thing, because when you're this far into a season, we're 16 games now into the season, we're so close to halfway, and the players just look lost. You thought they'd have some sort of identity now, some sort of way, some sort of patterns of play. There's nothing. They just, as the weeks progress, they just look more lost and more lost and more lost.
The more the players get integrated to the team, the worse they look. It's baffling. It's baffling. But there people argue that this is the rot that's set in last season in terms of just getting used to losing games. Is that going to take a long time to turn that around? These players are basically, there's a horrible culture in the dressing room in terms of just low standards. There's a lack of accountability. This is a team that need a major culture shift, and it's not going to happen over 6 months. And Frank can only do so much, and we're just a team that's used to losing games now. Is that? I mean, that?
Not really, because I think if we had a manager that could actually produce something on the pitch, then that probably wouldn't be the case, and we'd be actually seeing something by now. To see absolutely nothing. If we were still losing games, we're actually seeing something, that would be something else. But it just seems to be getting worse and worse. Fine, the mentality within the club hasn't been great for a number of years, but these players are Europa League. They just won the Europa League. They've just won a trophy. So they showed that winning mentality towards the back end of last season. I get the league. We finished 17th last year, but the way we're going, we're going to finish 17th again. You know what I mean? We're dropping down this table faster than anything. We're getting further and further away from the top 6 as each week progresses.
That's what the underlying numbers say.
And we're going to, like I said before, where we are, I think is a false representation of how bad we've actually been this season. I think we deserve to be lower than we actually are.
We got those few wins early in the season, and that's kind of papered over a lot of the crack, which is what a lot of people are saying. But the underlying numbers have always been really poor. And you know what the underlying numbers say as well? They say we're far worse away from home than we are at home.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
That's what they say. So this best away form in the league, I think it's going to have a sharp decline.
But you saw it with Brentford last season. At the beginning of the season, they were really good at home, or they were really good away, and then it completely flipped, and they couldn't win at home, and then they won loads away. That could be happening with Spurs right now.
Maybe, yeah, potentially. But it says here the expected goals difference at home is 0.1. We're 0.1 worse off per game usually at home against opposition. Away from home, it says we're 0.7 worse off per game. So we concede 0.7 more XG per game away from home against opposition. So that tells me we're in a false position away from home. We're not going to keep winning these games. And I think yesterday was a prime example. I think we're going to see if we carry on like this, we're going to see results like yesterday more and more often, I think. And I think it's been a bit of a mirage, this whole way form, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And that's also a massive concern. I don't know what we do. I think we've invested, it seems, a lot in Thomas Frank being the face of this rebuild and the face of the ENIC 2.0, and he's going to be the answer to what Ange Postecoglou was last season. And so to change it after 6 months, or not even, would be seen as obviously a massive failure and a massive embarrassment. So I don't know if they change it.
The thing is, right, who's appointed Thomas Frank, right? It was Vinay, Johan Lang, and Daniel Levy, right? Johan Lang has worked with Frank before. You know, they're buddies. You know, they've got a history together, so he's going to want to give it every opportunity to turn it around. On top of that, though, there is a flip side to it, saying Levy's not here anymore, so the board could actually come out and hide behind that and say, you know what, this is Levy's appointment. We want to start from scratch. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go for it. But if Johan Lang is a big decision maker in this, I think he's going to want to give it as much time as possible.
Yeah. And I think the reality is, what choice do they have?
Yeah.
Like, unless Xavi, you want to give him a go, but can you really see Xavi either agreeing to a 6-month deal, or do you see Tottenham giving him a 3-year deal? I don't see either of those really happening.
No, if you're going to bring Xavi, it has to be a long-term appointment.
Exactly. Do you see Tottenham trusting Xavi with a project right now? Maybe they would, but I don't know. I think they could have gone for him this summer, so they're clearly not convinced.
I see the only way this is going to go, in my opinion. I don't think we sign a long-term manager this season. I think it will be at the end of the season, if anything. In my opinion, they're going to give Frank as long as possible in this season to try and turn it around. He might lose his job at some point this season, and then it will be an interim for the rest of the season, not depending. I think that's the way it's going to go. And then in the summer, you're going to have many managers that are going to be looking for a job. You've got Pochettino, potentially Nagelsmann at the end of his Germany thing. You've got Xabi Alonso, who could be free at the end of the season, potentially Arne Slot. You know, you've got so many managers that could be potentially looking for work at the end of the season. So I think it's just going to be the club are going to be saying, or putting out the message saying, we've got full belief in Frank, we want to wait for him to turn it around. But I do think in the background they'll probably be putting in feelers for the end of the season.
I just can't believe we're here again. It's just so frustrating every year. But then the next season then is going to be another transitional season. Like, every season is a bloody transitional season.
May as well call us Transitional Hotspur.
Honestly, it's a merry-go-round. It's so frustrating, and it's no surprise that the fans have just run out of patience with the whole thing. Like, it's an utter nonsense. And
but like, if you're at the helm right now, right, and you've seen what you've seen, we're at this point, 16 games in, nothing seems to be getting better, seems to be getting worse. What do you do? Like, what do you actually do? Never mind what the club are going to do, but what would you do?
Yeah, I'd have to give it time, because you made the decision to change it in the summer, when there was, whatever you want to say, there was an excuse to not change it. I understand the reason to change it. Yeah. But there was a reason to keep it. They didn't. They have now changed it to this approach, and we're now being served. And you've kind of laid your bed. You have to lie on it. This is a decision you took forward. You're going to have to give it time, even though we're served up this dross week after week. That's the kind of route you went down. You don't really have an alternative right now. When you think about managers who have changed mid-season and have been successful in the Premier League for big teams, you've got it doesn't really. It's very rare.
Conte worked.
You know Conte, but world-class manager available. Who's that? Who's the equivalent of Conte? You had like Tuchel, who went to Chelsea. Again, world-class manager who was available. Man City, have they ever changed it mid-season? I can't remember off the top of my head. Arsenal, that was one, but again, he nearly got the job before Emery. So he's a candidate they knew well. Obviously, he was just. I
wouldn't even say that even went right. Like.
Well, yeah, fair enough. But they won the FA Cup. But he was a candidate they knew well, and he was, so it wasn't exactly like a complete surprise. And this is a guy who worked under Pep Guardiola, who was assistant there, so he'd been around a big club for a long time. But like, there's not too many things.
I'm seeing a lot of Spurs fans clamour for Robbie Keane to come in as manager.
Interim. I'd say Robbie Keane is interim.
He wouldn't come as interim. You'd need to appoint him full time, because he's got a job. He's a manager.
Well, Ferencváros. Yeah, but it's true. But he also knows if he comes in as interim and does well, not necessarily he might get it full time, which he might, but also puts him in the shop window for bigger clubs potentially if it works out.
Or if he comes in and does well, he might get the job full time.
And he might get the Spurs full time job. Yeah. So I think it could be worth his while, but yeah, I agree. I don't know. You'd have to sell it to him. Also, this whole Frank experiment at the moment has that put doubt in a lot of the board's minds in terms of going for another manager from a lower table team, with how things have gone. So does it rule out the likes of Glasner, Iraola, these kind of managers from the running?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I'd want Glasner. Iraola, potentially, I would want, but still, I think I would look elsewhere than those two. Like I rate them as managers. I think they're both really good managers, but I think Glasner does come with his own issues. Look, I know Glasner has done so well at Crystal Palace. He did so well at Eintracht Frankfurt as well. But that's not what it's like. What did you say you wanted at Tottenham? You wanted free-flowing, attacking front foot football. That's not Ole Glasner.
That's not Glasner, no.
You know what I mean? Like Glasner's one that's going to play three at the back. He's going to play on the transition. He's also got his issues in breaking down low blocks. Like I've actually read a lot. I've done a lot of research on managers over the last couple of weeks, right? And there was this one article that I read that made a lot of sense to me on Ole Glasner. He says, at his time at Frankfurt and his time at Crystal Palace, the one thing that he struggled with massively is breaking down low blocks. So it's not going to work at Tottenham.
Yeah, he's going to have similar issues. He might be, I think...
He's a better man. Like, he could be a better manager than Frank. Fine, that's fair enough. But for what we want at Tottenham...
Yeah,
that's not what we want.
Giving him a long contract is, I'm not sure the answer there as well. So I think we're just stuck now. We're kind of just stuck with this in a sad way. I really don't know. I mean, when you talk about giving managers time, Deitch only just came in not long ago, and look how he got on them playing against us. Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think
this is just so set up for Pochettino to come back in the summer. I think that's where we're heading right now. And I don't even know if it's the right move. Like, obviously, it's a very romantic move, but we know with Pochettino that he needs time in a job. Like, when has he ever just hit the ground running in any of the jobs? He needs, time on the training pitch. He needs at least half a season to get things going. Even at Chelsea, like, I know his time at Chelsea is seen as a flop, but actually, in the second half of his season, he got quite consistent results there. And so he needs a lot of time, and it's going to be hard to go through that once again with another manager. So I don't even know what the right place, what the right way to go is. I'm just completely lost with it all now, to be honest.
How bad does it have to get before you contemplate bringing Ange back?
I'm not contemplating bringing Ange back because it's never going to happen.
At all?
Ange, like, if he had anything about him, there's no chance he would ever accept the Spurs job again.
But
there is no chance.
He's sitting on a beach in Greece waiting for the call.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's having a great time on the beach. He don't want to come back to Tottenham, I tell you that. There is no chance in hell Ange ever comes back to his football club. After being sacked after winning the Europa League, do you think he ever comes back?
Yeah, but they can say Levy did that.
Yeah.
Levy, it wasn't us.
Yeah.
We never wanted to sack him.
He knows Vina and Johan Lang were very instrumental in probably that decision as well.
Crawling back on their hands and knees.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think he ever comes back.
Would you ever consider it at all?
Would I consider it?
If we keep getting served up these performances?
No, because I think there are other better candidates out there.
Just for 6 months?
6 months interim.
Yeah.
And till the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's better than this, Dross, to be honest.
Wouldn't you be curious?
If you take me back to the parade when he said season 3 is better than season 2, then yeah, I'm giving you a lifetime contract. But do I want to go back to Ange? Probably not. I just think we need some stability at this football club, and
Frank's
I don't know.
give us stability.
Yeah, I know, and he hasn't. It's just getting worse and worse.
We need daring. We need risk. That's what we need. Not stability.
We need risky stability.
Risky stability. Any risk-taking stable guys out there?
I genuinely am at a loss for ideas of where we go now. I think the only option.
I think we're just stuck.
I think the only option is to stick with Frank until you can't stick with him anymore, pretty much. And I think if it keeps going the way it's going, how long does he actually have left in the job?
Like, in terms of these specific performances, I don't know how much more I can stomach of this before I'm fully Frank out. I'm not going to lie.
I was saying to you, like, get Brendan on an interim. But even Brendan's got a job now.
Brendan's gone to Saudi or Qatar, one of those places. So So he's out of a job. So he's out of the market. I don't know, man. Matty Wells, give it Matty.
He's got a job.
Season. Yeah, get him before he takes the job.
He flew out to America today, I think.
He ain't has he?
Apparently, he was flying out the day after the game.
Harry, give Harry.
Harry Redknapp.
Months.
God.
Liverpool did it once, didn't they? They gave Dalglish.
They brought back Dalglish, yeah.
Sacking Hodgson. Can we give
about Glenn?
Can we give Harry? Glenn. Give Glenn an interim. Get him stop talking about going to heaven or hell or whatever he was
The
talking
thing
about.
is, like, we all like laud Justin Cochrane, and Cochrane nearly got the Brentford job. But like Cochrane, does he not have the same ideas as Frank? Like, he's Frank's guy, and that's like they've
You'd
been
think
working
so.
in tandem with each other.
He works for England as well, doesn't he, Cochrane?
Yeah.
You would think he's not got like it was a bit like when we put Stellini in charge after sacking Conte.
Yeah.
It was like he was just doing the same thing,
But worse.
but worse. Yeah, he was just a shitter version of Conte. I don't know. I just think we're gonna have to put up with it. But if he keeps putting in, if these dross performances keep persisting, I don't know. I don't know how much more the fan base can stomach.
I know. It's already getting so toxic and disgruntled, and so much apathy towards the team and the manager and playing staff. It's just, I can't believe we're here again so quickly. It just seems like managers' shelf life at Tottenham just seems getting shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah.
It's just baffling, isn't it, this football club? And how many more apologies from players can we take after every bloody game? We're getting an apology. It's like they all have what's it? The short string. Whoever picks up the short string has to do the apology
pulling
after
straws,
the game.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yesterday it was Pedro Porro. And I'm like, I don't want to hear this apology from you, Pedro. Just perform on the day. Like, he was shocking yesterday, Pedro. Oh my day! Like, I praised him so much for his kind of uptick in performance last couple of games, but this one was probably his worst performance of the season. He was getting rinsed down that side. He couldn't put a 5-yard pass in either. It's just like, stop with this shit apologies every week and actually just try for the team on the pitch.
It's like they should stop marketing these as Tottenham games and just say these are Tottenham apology tours.
Literally.
CFC apology tour.
As Daigle put it,
Going around the country apologising.
Literally, we went up to Nottingham yesterday for nothing but to bring home a scarf. That's all we went for, just to go scarf collections.
Honestly, this club.
What can I say, man? That's our match review. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts on the game. A couple of super chats to get through before we move on to player ratings. So we've got, there's quite a few actually. This one from Victor saying the club didn't gift the fans any scarves. Those were blindfolds. Yeah, absolutely spot on.
Better use to being
You know what? I wish I did use it as a blindfold. Gilberto Flores says, I rewatched Ange's first 10 games highlights and man, these was exciting. Now it's just so dull and boring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sporific says, I was frank in till the moment he took off Spence for Davis when we are chasing 2 goals. What on earth was he thinking? Now Frank has to go. And it does feel like that's like the kind of general sentiment online now, is that it feels
Was
like
that his Bergwijn Mora moment?
how many of those moments can he have? But look, maybe we should do a poll, because I said to you last time we did the poll, I felt like the general sentiment is Frank out, and then the poll kind of proved me wrong.
Yeah, I guess. Let's see.
Let's see what the poll says now, because I generally feel like the sentiment is Frank out now.
Let's see a poll.
But get your votes in the chat and see where we're at with the manager, and how many of you want him in, how many of you want him out. All right. Next super chat from Lone Ranger saying, I've seen a lot of Frank out, but no suggestions of who will replace him at this given time. Give the guy till the end of the season, then make a decision. It is too soon to sack him. Give him time. And look,
that's what's saving him a job, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that we're going on that suggests that he should be in a job, but where else? We don't have anywhere else to turn, people.
That was why it was such a big decision in the summer. Like, I feel like they say they did this all process, 50-point process. The problem is I don't trust if the people who made the decision to install Frank, I don't know if I trust these guys to know what good football is.
Yeah.
What good football looks like. Because if they say we want a manager who plays good attacking football and they landed on Frank, I have to trust their decision-making process. I really have to be sceptical of their decision-making process, because it clearly shows me they don't really know what they're looking for. They don't really know what good attacking football looks like, free-flowing football looks like.
And this is who we're trusting, a multi-billion-pound in
these decision
football
makers,
club.
man. I don't trust them. I do not trust them. And if Fabio's part of it, I don't know. I trust him either. He was the one who landed on Nuno, and he nearly went for Gattuso.
Yeah.
Like
Gattuso is Italy manager now.
Yeah, and he's not doing great.
No.
He hasn't done great at club level. Like I don't know. I don't know if I trust him to know what's right for this club. Like that. I think we need. I don't know who made the decision, but we'll put the 50-point plan together or whatever it was.
We need ENIC 3.0.
We need something new. We need the guy from Brighton. They know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
They know who plays good football, exactly the kind of style they want, and they go and get managers who can implement that. And they've gone from Potter to De Zerbi to Hertz, so that all of them have played good football. I know Potter's whatever, but since then, but he was done very well at Brighton. And De Zerbi plays brilliant football. Look at brilliant football Marseille, and Hertz is playing great football there. Like we need an identifiable way of playing and something that fits that. Even Bournemouth, they had every right to stay with O'Neill after he kept them up, a miracle keeping them up. And they decided, no, we're going to go for Iraola because we like this way of playing, and it's been working for them brilliantly. They know what they want. Even Brentford know what they want. Everyone's saying clowning them getting a set piece coach in, but he knows what he wants. We don't know what we want. We think we do. But I think we just looked at Brentford's goal tally last season. Oh, look, they scored a few goals. He must be playing good football.
That was part of the 50-point process?
I think there was no analysis beyond Brentford scored some goals, so I think they must play good football. Like, I think that was the process. Like, it's baffling to me how they landed on Frank. Well, if that was part of the process to play good football. The
only option for them is to just see if he can turn it around. That's the only option.
Yeah, it is. But I don't know how much more of this football I can stomach when we're playing like this.
Yeah. Isaac Newton said he played Richie for 90 minutes. Kept playing slow and behind, made shocking substitution. At this stage, We Are Tottenham TV can do a better job than Frank.
Get us in. Co-managers.
Ryan Isaac says, Deadass only went there for the scarf.
Should have just left before the kickoff. Get the scarf and go home.
Wibbers says, be careful what you wish for by sacking Frank. We end up with Wilfred Nancy.
Yeah, but for me, I don't know. I don't know how much more. I know it could get worse. We could get relegated, but honestly, some of the performances is like, it's worrying when we were as bad as we were yesterday, and we are questioning whether it was the worst performance. It's not even like for sure. Yeah. We are. It's like a debate.
I think it was the worst
performance. It probably was, but there are so many candidates. Like I don't even know. You can make a claim for a lot of other games. It's just so hard to watch at the moment. This team.
All right, look, let's get into the player ratings. We're going to start off with Vicario. 4s all round for Vic. Look, just shocking. 2 goals he had his hand in. First one, terrible pass to Archie Gray, bobbling all over the place to his weaker foot. Second one, I thought his positioning was all wrong. And look, it was a slice of luck at the end of the day with a cross that just floated into the far corner. But the only thing that saves him getting a 4 is that he did make a few really nice saves throughout the game to keep it respectable at the time of the game. But look, we end up losing 3-0. He gets put down for 2 of them. And I feel like there's a growing sentiment within the Spurs fan base, particularly the away end, growing frustrations with him. And I felt like during that game there was a lack of trust from the players to give him the ball at times. I really did towards the last half an hour of the game.
Yeah, obviously I think he takes blame for the first goal, shocking. I'll give him a bit of credit because he did make some saves, and I also think what he doesn't get enough credit for was I thought from set pieces he was actually quite good. He made some really good punches when he was under a lot of pressure, so I'll give him credit for that. But yeah, I mean his ball playing has been costing us a lot recently. I do think he could have done better with the second goal as well. There's a lot of people just running out of patience with Vicario. There's a lot of mistakes in recent weeks. And after it looked like he turned to corner as well with some top performances, recent weeks he's been back to his worst, and a lot of people are saying, is he ever going to be the right keeper for us? And there's big question marks there, you have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Vicario now, you're looking at his general season, because, you know, we came out in defence of Vicario a few weeks ago. I don't think there's much defending the season that he's having now. I know, like, he had a little period of 2-3 games where he looked phenomenal. But apart from that, he's had a really bad season, hasn't he?
Well, a keeper has to be a steady pair of hands, and it has to be someone who invokes calmness in the backline, and he just unfortunately doesn't do that. He's always amped up. He's always so full of like passion and just always wanting to do something. And I think at the moment it's costing us a lot, and he's costing us in way too many games. Way too many games.
Would you go and change a keeper for Kinski? Because Kinski didn't even look ready when he's played.
I'll consider it, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a bit too soon. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know any more about anything. Yeah. You know what? I'll try up with Kinski and just give him a go.
How much worse can it get? Yeah. Well, I guess like Kinski probably doesn't make the saves at least that Vicario makes.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
But anyway, let's move on to Pedro Porro. Sim gives him a 3. I gave him a 2. I think Pedro Porro was absolutely shambolic yesterday. I thought, they had the beating of him on a consistent level yesterday, time and time again. I thought he did nothing in terms of his ability on the ball. I just felt like it was an absolute disaster class from Pedro Porro yesterday, and I've been praising him over the last couple of games after I've been criticising him a lot. I think, all in all, look, he's got some stats behind him to suggest that he's one of the better fullbacks in the league this season, but judging on the eye test, I think he's having a shocking season, to be honest, and yesterday was probably the worst of the lot.
Yeah, another shocking display from Porro, to be honest. Can't really say too much. He's just off it from the first minute. I think Hudson-Odoi was giving him a tough time throughout the whole game. His passing was off it, his crossing was off it. Just a really poor game. And yeah, and he had I didn't like as well after the game him coming out saying, "Oh, Archie made a mistake and that's put us behind." I'm like, well, you had a shocker. You'd have to be calling players out.
It's mad, isn't it? Like, you've got one of the fully fledged internationals in Pedro Porro, starts with Spain. He should be a leader to someone like Archie Gray, and he's coming out in an interview instead of protecting him, pretty much throwing him under the bus. It's madness. It's absolute madness. No accountability for his own personal display. I get he came out and apologised for the performance, but it's not enough. Show that performance on the pitch. Be a leader on the pitch. He did nothing but that. Yeah. Cuti Romero, 5s all round for Cuti. I felt like he was pretty much the only one in the back line that kind of kept up those defensive levels. He was stepping out and he was defending quite decently at times, and he was trying to play out the back, and he showed a good level at that, but I felt like he just couldn't do it on his own, to be honest, and I think he was the only one in that back line that comes out with a bit of credit, I thought. Yeah,
he was all right. I mean, not great. I mean, it's a very low bar, but probably one of our better players on the day. But I thought Igor Jesus was holding the ball up way too easily. You don't expect him to have such a easy time up against Romero and Van de Ven, but he wasn't. We weren't winning the ball off anywhere near him. But yeah, I don't really blame him for any of the goals or anything. I think it was okay, but yeah, it was a very low bar.
Mickey Van de Ven, Sim gives him a 4, I gave him a 3. Yeah, I thought it was a shocker from Mickey. I think it was his worst display of the season, to be honest. What really frustrated me with Mickey is his passing and his playing out the back. I thought it was absolutely shocking. More times than not, just playing it back to Forest, putting us under pressure. Really, really frustrating. And I'm noticing something with Mickey Van de Ven this season, which I've never noticed with him before, of how frustrated he's getting being in this team, to be honest, with the lack of quality around him. Look, don't get me wrong, his quality on the day was really poor, but it feels like to me he's just getting really disgruntled being at Tottenham.
Yeah, and he there's a shot of him. He gets like a note from from Frank, whatever, in the piece of paper. He just doesn't seem happy with what he's reading, and I don't know how much you can read into that. He seemed to be a bit frustrated with the note he got, but yeah, I thought his passing was just so always under hit. He's playing it. I thought his passing actually in recent weeks been a bit better, but in this game he's just under hitting his passes constantly. Another player as well who was having a tough time against Igor Jesus. I thought Omari Hutchinson was getting too much joy cutting inside as well. Wasn't really helping out Spence that much. it's just a poor game, uncharacteristically poor from Van der Ven.
Jed Spence, Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 4. I think, defensively he was poor. I thought Omari Hutchinson, having a bit of a field day down his side, and which is not what you expect to see from Spence. As we always say he's the best one-on-one defender at the club, but I didn't think he really showed that too much yesterday. I thought, on a good note, he was trying to drive the team forward at times, albeit a lot on his own, and just trying to take it past men and try and start some sort of attack, but no teamwork whatsoever. And I thought he was pretty poor.
Yeah, I think he was one of the only ones getting on the ball a bit in their half and making the runs, but yeah, it wasn't a good day for him. I thought in the first half, Hutchinson was giving him the toughest time. In fact, most of their good work was coming down his side, which is, again, you don't expect that from Spence because he's such a good one-on-one defender, but he struggled to deal with Savona and Hutchinson down that side. They were getting crosses in, creating chances. I thought he cleared up a bit in the second half, and then he got taken off. And I thought he was the only one, maybe, if we were going to get forward and create some width, he was kind of the only one who kind of looked like he could do it. And then he got taken off and he looked very frustrated. So I'm not saying he had a good game, but again, I thought he was probably one of our better players on the day.
Yeah, that just showed how shit we were yesterday. Rodrigo Bentancur, 3s all round for Lolo. And this is just him in a nutshell this season, isn't it? Like, one good performance, one terrible performance. One good performance, one terrible performance. One of the most inconsistent players that we have at this football club at this moment in time. And he could not make a 5-yard pass yesterday. Every time he was asked to make a 5-yard pass, it was either overhit, went straight to Nottingham Forest player. It's just so frustrating when you're trying to build moves from the middle of the park and it just breaks down every time Bentancur gets on the ball. And don't get me, and off the ball as well. I thought, he was chasing shadows pretty much all game and he had no positive impact in the game. I thought he was shocking.
Yeah, terrible. I thought he was just all over the place. I thought Anderson, Gibbs-White running rings around him. His passing was terrible. Defensively, he seemed anonymous. He got absolutely done as well for the second goal by Hudson-Odoi. Couldn't keep up with Hudson-Odoi. I know Hudson-Odoi got some luck, but just had him on toast. And as you say, it's just one shit game, one good game, one shit game. He just can't get any sort of level of consistency this season, Bentancur.
Archie Gray up next. Sim gives him a 3. I gave him a 4. Look, he makes the mistake for the first goal. It wasn't the greatest pass to him, but I think he still should have been doing better in that moment in time. He's got more than enough quality to get it on his wrong foot and spray a pass, and he takes the touch with no awareness behind him. And the Forest player gets the ball and puts the ball in the back of the net. So that was really poor from Archie. I thought for the most part he was chasing shadows in the middle of the park against a really energetic Nottingham Forest side. But he actually has our only chance of the game, doesn't he? At least he drives and tries to make something happen. But just a poor display from Archie.
Yeah, it wasn't his day. I actually liked his reaction after the mistake. Obviously, it was a mistake from him. He shouldn't have got caught out by Sangare the way he did. When he called for the ball as well, and he should have laid it off first time to Romero, albeit it was a bad pass from Vicario. But I liked his reaction. He wanted to take responsibility. He was getting forward. He had a shot. I think he did get booked, but at least he's putting a challenge in. He's trying to take some responsibility. Well, unfortunately, it just wasn't his day. He just wasn't good on the day, to be honest, unfortunately. And he did get taken off. But I like the fact that he didn't hide after the mistake and he still looked to get involved in the game, which a lot of players, young players as well, don't do.
Yeah, absolutely. Javi Simmons, 4s all round for Javi. Look, after a few decent performances, 2-man the matches in a row, a bit of a step backwards for him, but I did feel for him at times because I felt like with Javi, he was actually getting himself in some good positions, but there was just nothing around him. Pretty much similar to what before he got dropped for those 4 games. We were saying very similar things about Javi, where he's actually doing quite good work, but there's just nothing around him, like no one within 30 yards of him. So what's he actually supposed to do? Don't get me wrong, the quality at times was bad on the day, but I did feel for him at times because there was just no runners off him, no nothing. So I felt for him.
I thought actually one positive thing of Xavi, I thought defensively off the ball he did some really good work. And I thought he was getting involved in a lot of battles and making some really good tackles, and there was actually some impressive stuff off the ball, but on the ball, unfortunately, his quality just wasn't there. His passing was poor. I think he gave the ball away so many times. He was just so wasteful He struggled to really get any sort of quality in terms of his passing game going. I agree with you though. There's a lot of it was a lack of options and a lack of just runners and lack of space, and it was very difficult for him. But unfortunately, the quality was lacking there on the ball from Xavi yesterday.
Mohamed Kudus, Sim gives him a 4. I gave him a 3. Again, we've reverted back to that basically schoolboy tactic of giving the ball to Kudus and seeing what he can do with it. Like literally, when you're playing football in the playground when you're at school, that is what the tactic is. Give the ball to your best player on the team and he'll just take it past everyone and score. And that's basically what our tactic has been for a lot of games this season. And he was just so frustrating, Kudus, yesterday. He didn't even try and link up play, I felt like he just got the ball, no matter how many men he had around him, just try and barge his way through the Forest defence. And look, the Forest players weren't having it. And he lost the ball so many times. And it was just so frustrating to watch, man.
Yeah, I mean, every time he got the ball, he had like 3 or 4 players around him. So just if that's going to be the situation, you know that from very early on. It was clear tactic from Forest. Make sure you release the ball quickly. There's going to be players in space. There's going to be other spaces to exploit, and he just had no interest in doing it. He'd rather run down a blind alley and lose the ball. When he did get the opportunity to cross, not necessarily totally his fault, but his crossing was going nowhere. Obviously, Milenkovic and Murillo gobbled everything up, but his crossing, there was nothing there. His corners didn't do anything. And it went from a great game against 2 good games against Slavia and Brentford, and this game he was just completely nullified.
Yeah. Randall Kolo Muani, 5s all round for him. I thought, he was the one. If we were going to do anything, it looked like it was going to come through him. He actually had the quality to take on his man, but look, at the end of it, didn't really show much quality. But I just didn't understand why they took him off. Why Frank took him off. I felt it was a baffling decision when he was the one looking like he was getting into the good areas, and if something was potentially going to happen, it probably wouldn't have happened, but it was going to come through him. So I like his energy on the pitch. I like his desire and work rate. But yeah, still not great.
Yeah, I didn't understand why they took him off. He was the only one who had a little bit of quality with his dribbling, taking people on. He was the only one who looked a bit bright. There was one moment, I think it was in the first half, he took it past 3 players, burst into the space, and he just didn't release the ball. He had options. He had Xavi, he had Kudus, and he just didn't release the ball and ends up giving it away. I think he wanted to go for goal himself because, I don't know, maybe he didn't trust passing it. But he was the only one who looked a bit bright. He was probably the brightest spark on the day, but even that is slim pickings. But I didn't understand why he took him off. He was the only one who could hang on to the ball and actually look like maybe something could happen with him.
Richarlison up next. Sim gives him a 3. I gave him a 2. It looked like he had like bouncy car. He was like wearing a bouncy castle or something, because every time the ball came to him, the ball just bounced off him. His control was completely off on the day. Made no sort of impact, no sort of presence up top, and didn't impact the game. The only way he impacted the game was in a negative way, because he just could not keep the ball. He could not make it stick. He could not bring others into play. I don't know what he did on the pitch yesterday. He lasted 90 minutes.
Yeah,
how's he lasted 90 minutes and Muani gets taken off? Like, can you make sense of that? I can't make sense of it.
I couldn't believe that, to be honest. And he was shocking yesterday. Everything was just. He couldn't control anything. He couldn't control anything yesterday. Couldn't probably control a bag of flour, probably let alone a football. It was crazy. It was just baffling how bad he was, and it was baffling how Frank didn't take him off. To be fair, again, he suffered from issues he has suffered from a lot of this season, which is lack of any players around him and being isolated. But you have to say, when he did get the opportunity to show a bit of quality, it was just not there at all. Nothing. So I was shocked that he stayed off on the pitch.
Yeah. Lucas Bergvall, first of our subs. Sim gives him a 5. I gave him a 4. Probably the only sub I actually agreed with on the day. Look, I don't think he showed too much quality. I mean, he was snapping into challenges. He got booked, and he was trying to drive the team forward. But yeah, he couldn't do it on his own.
Yeah, and he didn't really. Unfortunately, he was getting exploited a bit. Didn't really close gaps in the middle. Didn't close Sangari down for the goal. And I don't remember too much of him getting on the ball either. He just came on and ran around a bit.
Yeah, pretty much. João Palhinha, 5 from Sim, 4 from me. Look, he put himself about a little bit, going in a few challenges, as we know he's going to do. But look, at the end of the day, he was probably brought in to shore up the midfield a little bit, and he didn't do that.
I actually thought he was quite combative when he came on, and I think he did help a bit individually. He did win a few tackles, but did help us because he can't win ball forward.
Yeah, I still thought like the midfield was still wide open when he came on, even if he did put in a few challenges. Ben Davies came on. Sim, we both give him a 5. I mean, look, I felt like he shored up the left-hand side a little bit, albeit not much. But yeah, there was nothing really to talk about.
Didn't cross the halfway line. Don't understand why he was brought on. Makes no sense to me. Why, when you're 2-0 down, you bring on Ben Davies? That's the last player you want when you're 2-0 down. Literally the last player. So it doesn't make sense.
Thomas Frank, Sim gives him a 1. I gave him a 2. I'm not sure what he gets the 2 for, to be honest. But just turning up on the day, you probably just get a 2 for.
Scarves? Was he involved in the scarves?
Yeah, if he's I'll give him that. He gave 3,000 scarves to the away end yesterday, but. Look, it was just a shit show throughout. Look, I can understand the going for the same team that we beat Brentford with, because it was, we did well that day and we looked like that we could have a bit of attacking intent. We looked like the better team. We looked like we could have scored a lot more goals than 2 on the day. He's gone for the same team. I've got no problem with that. Albeit, I thought he should have started with Tell on the left, and we said that in the predicted lineup, but I didn't have too many problems when the team lineup was announced. What I did have a problem with is the application and the desire and everything on the pitch. Didn't seem to have any sort of motivational, like, he can't seem to motivate these players on a regular basis. That's the reality. At half time, when you're 1-0 down and you put in that sort of performance, you expect Frank get them in at half time, give them a shouting to, make a few changes, and Spurs to come out firing in that second half, try and prove the doubters wrong. There was none of that. No changes at half time. We actually looked worse coming out the second half than we probably did in the first half. So, and the changes on the day as well. The game management was so poor from Thomas Frank. You're 2-0 down, looking for a bit of inspiration. And the inspiration he has is bringing on Ben Davies and João Palhinha. Like, it's just ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. So I thought this was a complete shit show from Thomas Frank. And, the question marks just get more and more and more as each game progresses.
I mean, you can just go through every element of what a manager should be doing and judge him on that. There's no attacking pattern, no plan to go forward. Defence looked absolutely open and gifting chances and making mistakes. The players look unmotivated. The team lack massive amounts of intensity. The substitutions were absolutely awful, and the game management was absolutely awful. The players are looking frustrated with him, and they don't seem to be happy with him. A few of them, like. There's not one part of, what a manager should be that I can give him any sort of positive on this occasion. You're playing against a weaker team with an inferior team where you should have the better players and you should be on the front foot, and you're getting dominated. They're laying you with 20 minutes to go and taking the piss out of you. So I don't see... I mean, he's probably lucky to get a 1, to be honest.
Forest fans started singing "You're Getting Sacked in the Morning." And I did hear some Spurs fans. It wasn't big from the Spurs fans, but some Spurs fans were definitely singing along as well.
I don't like that, but
when that starts happening.
Not good.
Yeah. So that is our player ratings for the 3-0 loss at the City Ground yesterday. Forest 3, Tottenham 0. As we're going to move in to reacts, see how the internet did react to this game. I'm not sure we're going to see too many good reactions. But first of all is Midnight posting out on today's episodes of videos that age absolutely perfectly.
Yeah. I'm guessing this is Wolfie predicting 3-0.
3-0? Nah, you're not being serious, man.
24 hours later.
Do you know what the most disappointing and frustrating thing of this whole shit show is, Sim? We fully deserve to be 3-0 down. We deserve to be 3-0 down.
Oh, God, Wolfie.
We're probably the only club that can be bantered by someone like Nottingham Forest. It's madness. How are we getting bantered by Nottingham Forest? Like, how are we in this situation? Nottingham Forest.
How are they predicting 3-0s on us and
getting it right?
And being right. Oh.
The thing is, right, he was actually embarrassed himself to predict the 3-0, and he was like, being serious, I think it was going to be 1-1. But he was right. He was right. 3-0 to Nottingham Forest.
Giving Marinakis a 3-0 win on our head after everything that's happened this week. And we're
mate.
bantering him, saying, we always win, and we're bantering him, they're 17th. And they come and absolutely take the piss out of us.
And they were singing their Marinakis song as well, so loud in that stadium. Oh, fuck my life. Alistair Gold said Mohamed Kudus forgetting Spurs' new habit. Oh yeah, I noticed this yesterday actually. And Spurs' new habit of grouping together before walking off at half-time. They shouted to him. He came back a few steps before they all started walking off together. Even lacked coordination and communication. I mean, even this whole new thing, which I thought is just ridiculous anyway. I mean, I don't know what they're even trying to prove with it, but they think they're trying to prove togetherness within this squad. They can't even get that right.
So I think what they're inadvertently showing is how not together they are
Exactly.
by trying to show unity. I think when you're getting that wrong, you know that there's deep-rooted problems here. I mean, it's so embarrassing. Can't even get a little half-time huddle correct.
Yeah. Untitled VFX says this has more goals than Gyökeres.
Yeah, my head was gone when he did this happen. I was oh my God, how can you not control that? It's like a promising attack. And, oh, God. So bad.
Thing is, right.
How is that a professional footballer playing?
Thing is, right. Even if he takes a good touch there,
I know you're right. Yeah, it's true. Maybe he can shoot from the halfway line again.
You know what I mean? Like, what's he supposed to? He's on his own in their own half.
It's true, but what is that touch?
Yeah, I know it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Mirror Football says I'll ask him about that.
Thomas, this is more the picture, yeah, but yeah.
Thomas Frank responded after Jeds reacted angrily to being subbed off during Tottenham Hotspur in Nottingham Forest. That picture speaks 1,000 words, man.
Yeah, daggers from Spence. Didn't he literally that still look of death there. He just proper giving him the evils.
Yeah. And that was after he's so angry to get taken off.
Mm-hmm. What was that? Is that? I know it's a shin pad. I thought it was a phone. I thought he was going to start tweeting. No. Okay.
Neo THFC says me pretending to make the wish kid to meet Thomas Frank.
To be able to make a wish kid.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like when you're a kid who's like dying, you get like one.
Oh, I see. God.
Bit of dark humour.
Tottenham Maskey says should have supplied them with free antidepressants too. They're not wrong, man.
Honestly,
they're not wrong. I think
watching this team can make
a season ticket should come with it at Tottenham.
Exactly, a free yearly supply.
I think
50% off.
A stat came out with the season ticket. You've paid like £700 per win or something.
Oh. So apparently you pay like £80 a goal. Nuts.
Football Away Day saying Nottingham Forest fans to Spurs fans. You got yourself a free scarf, now F off home. Yeah. Couldn't even bring myself to record it when I was in the away end with the vlog yesterday. Shithousery HQ says Sean Dyche after Nottingham Forest beat Tottenham 3-0. As a wine man once said, it's Tottenham, lads. Surely that's not a real quote.
It's real. I wouldn't be surprised if Dyche should say that, but I don't think it's real.
Anthony Paptis says, because I'm still pissed off, here's every team we've beaten this season and current position. I mean, that does say a lot, to be honest. Man City game aside, those are the only teams that we can beat.
19th, 18th, 35th, Doncaster 20th in Ligue 1, Leeds 17th, Everton 9th, Copenhagen 24th, Brentford 14th. Yeah, bloody hell. So 2 teams in the top half, City and Everton.
Yeah.
And there's not even that many teams in the bottom half either. We've beaten.
THFC_Cam says Callum Hudson-Odoi has went 18 games without getting a goal contribution for Nottingham Forest. He gets 3 goals and assists versus Thomas Frank's Tottenham. Wow, did he get 3 GAs yesterday?
Yeah, 2 goals and assists. Embarrassing.
I didn't even know he scored 2 goals yesterday. Seriously.
He scored the first one, tapped it in, and then the cross.
Oh, God.
And then he tapped it to Sangare for the goal. Saying before the game, he's having a bad season.
Yeah. Saying can't get into the Forest team.
Yeah, well.
Last word on Spurs. Thomas Frank is now odds-on favourite to be the next Premier League boss to be sacked. Frank has been under increasing pressure following Spurs' worst start to the Premier League season in 17 years. I'm not surprised, mate. Like, what other manager is under more pressure than Thomas Frank right now?
Yeah, I can't. I mean, Howe is somehow below him, but I don't think he's under as much. You'd maybe say Farker, but they're turning it around. Yeah, he would be. I can't see another different manager who would be under more pressure.
So I'm just looking at the odds now. The top three are Frank, Farke, and Parker.
Parker.
Arnie Slot.
Slot's there. Parker, they're turning it around.
He's
in time for us.
Frank is evens. Next manager to go.
Yeah, I think in terms of pressure, I think he's well above all those managers. Maybe Parker, but I don't know. I feel like they might stick with Parker even if they go down. I might be wrong.
So put this into context, right? Thomas Frank is evens to be next manager to be sacked. Ruben Amorim is 14-1. How mad is that?
Wow.
All right. Next up is BL. Oh no, that's it. No.
No. Keep going.
Oh, BLTHFC. Great win for us today. Palace away could have been a real banana skin.
That's where we're at now.
You know what? There was a big sentiment in the away end yesterday, being like, "All right, what's the City score, mate?"
We're going to start singing City till July. Are we back there,
bro?
Are we going to start singing City?
James
till July?
Black actually sang that
What? When?
before the Brentford game.
Oh God, I can't believe we're back there.
He actually sang that before the Brentford game.
So embarrassing. We're not Tottenham fans anymore. We're just basically.
We're not even halfway through a season, and
we're singing City till July. God.
Hotspur edition saying getting olayed for 5 straight minutes by 17th place Forest. These players honestly have zero shame. Bro,
That's a low point. That's a low point.
When they were olaying us in the away, and I literally just wanted the ground to swallow me whole, man. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. Olayed by Sean Dyche's Nottingham Forest.
Oh, we must be the only team to ever be olayed by a Sean Dyche team.
Madness. This next one is the Rishi touch again. I'm sure we can move past that. No context Tottenham. Ben Bowman feels like Frank feels he's found the best team. I like this.
So things that preceded horrible events, car crashes. God, if that's his best team, what's his worst?
Lars THFC say, look at the teams we've beaten. I'm crying.
Yeah, the form has been horrendous. Yeah.
And
the
last
10.
Yeah.
We've only been Brentford, Slavia, Copenhagen. Oh, God, it's so bad.
And suffering, just suffering his name, is we're 16 games into the Prem season. We've had less than 1 XG in 10 games so far. It took us binning off the league for the last 2 months to manage that. We finished 17th. To manage that when we finished 17th.
Yeah. And that's literally how we're playing at the moment. We're playing like we're an injury-ravaged team that's going for the Europa League.
Yeah.
That's how bad it
is. Is that it?
No.
Kane from the Lane says, credit where it's due. Thomas Frank has done a brilliant job lowering the standards at this club. Bottom half, 2 home wins, consistently awful performances, as close as 17th as we are to 4th. And he's acting like we're not in a full-blown crisis. This is Tottenham Hotspur. No, we are in a full-blown crisis. This is what crisis looks like.
A full-blown crisis that there's no way of fixing.
Yeah.
So what can we even do? It's absolute craziness.
Sam Cornish says, baffled if anyone watching today thinks the project deserves more time. This is what we've been watching all season. And he's not wrong.
I would like to speak to people who really still believe that Frank is going to turn it around. I want to know what they're thinking.
I don't think there is anyone that actually thinks he can turn it around. I think there's just people that thinks that just give him time just in case he can turn it around. No belief, I think, that he can turn it around.
Got to be someone out there.
Don't think so.
Maybe Ariane.
Maybe his wife.
Maybe his wife. Got to find someone. DM us if you're Frank in.
No, don't DM us if you're Frank in. DM us if you have genuine belief that Frank is going to turn it around. Because Frank in and that are 2 different things, in my opinion.
Oh, I didn't see that. We'll go after the poll. We'll finish this video. We'll look at the poll.
Sasha Delic says, the nerds are proven right once again. XG philosophy this season. Spurs have 11.94.
So that was in November. So this is when we were going well. And the underlying numbers were like that. Yeah. And people saying, yeah, but look, with this in the league, look, we're still doing well. We're top of the away league. And people saying, yeah, but you look at the underlying numbers, we're actually not a very good team. Like, this is going to turn. And So, I think the underlying numbers are hard to outrun. People don't like them for whatever reason. People think they're rubbish, but at the end of the day, more often than not, they're proven right.
The underlying numbers always win.
They always win. They always win.
And XG philosophy, Nottingham Forest 2.15 and Tottenham 0.37.
That is truly embarrassing.
This is to a team that conceded 3 to Everton.
Lost 3-0 to Everton.
Coy's Comp says Tottenham's stats this season: 16th for shots, 17th for shots on target, 17th for XG, 17th for shot creating actions, 17th for points earned at home, and most errors leading to a goal. So he's saying most. I thought it was second most to Wolves, but
maybe we overtook them after yesterday.
Maybe, but that's what I was saying before. Like, we're 11th right now, but we should be so much lower.
Honestly, if we keep playing like we have been all season, we are gonna get sucked in. Even Fulham are now 2 points behind us.
Yeah.
Fulham, who were in a relegation battle like 2 games ago when we played them, I think we would have beaten them. They could have gone into the relegation zone.
You know what?
And now they're 2 points behind us.
You know what? I haven't looked at the league table since after yesterday because I'm just scared to look at it. Like, how many points are we away from relegation?
9.
9.
Yeah.
And we got Liverpool
West
next.
Ham on 13.
We got Liverpool next. Who do West Ham have next?
West Ham have Man City away.
Oh, okay. Saving
It
grace.
should be all right.
Tottenham Independent Transfer Story says bringing Paulinho and Davis on to tighten things up to protect a 2-0 defeat.
Frank, masterclass. Absolute masterclass from Thomas Frank.
Jesus.
I want to know how he was doing it on the tactics board.
God, exactly. Get him into another one of those shows with James Lawrence Alcott.
Explain to me. Yeah, we put Davis in. We just shored up that side. It was a brilliant move.
Fabrizio Romano says Thomas Frank on the Tottenham job. If no one gets the time, no one can turn this around. This is not a quick fix.
Scroll down. There you go.
It might be true, but
The thing is, he
I
has to show that he's the guy to turn it around. He's not showing that. Like, it's all well and good saying, well, I need time, this is on quick fix. Yeah, but you have to show some good stuff as well. You can't just be all bad and say, yeah, I just need time. Like, you have to show some good stuff, even though it's early on. It doesn't matter. Like, you have to show some good things. Like, you have to show some good traits. You have to show what you're trying to implement. There is nothing in this team. I don't see what you're trying to do. Like, what is there to believe in this team in terms of what you're trying to implement? Like, it's all well and good calling for time, but time for what?
yeah. John Hotspur, 1988, saying senior players at Spurs are a bunch of cowards. Him, Vicario, a captain who never speaks after a loss but is straight in front of the camera after scoring 2 at Newcastle. The hide-and-seek champ in central midfield, etc. Spineless cowards. And like Pedro Porro, man, he comes in, he says after the mistake from Archie in this interview, which, like, yeah, fine, Archie made a mistake, but you go and protect a young kid in the press. You don't even need to mention a mistake from Archie Gray.
Just
like,
say it was a mistake. You have to mention his name.
you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. I think that is throwing a young kid.
It's like saying, oh, you know, he ruined the game plan because he made a mistake. Like, come on.
It's throwing a young kid under the bus,
He was
man.
the only one after that mistake
not
that actually
right.
got on the ball and I tried to do something.
That's not right, man. It's not right whatsoever. And I put Frank in there as well. Like, Frank shouldn't be highlighting a mistake from Archie Gray in his press conference as well. Like, this is a young kid. It's madness. George Keelia says we sacked Ramos and brought in Redknapp by October. That saved October that season, by the way, and it changed us completely. This is in response to Tottenham have picked up just 22 points across their opening 16 Premier League games. It's the fewest since 2008-2009 season.
Which was 2.8 games, very famously.
Yeah.
And as George said, what we did in that season was we sacked Ramos, we brought in Redknapp, and things immediately improved.
Yeah, and there's another example of it, of sacking Nuno and bringing in Conte. But, like, who is that manager that's come in and going to change our fortunes?
That's the problem. There's just not a real. There's not a real top candidate there, is there? So I don't know. But I was thinking about this. Most managers like that we've had, who've had the 2-season kind of block that we've had, most of them have had like a pretty good first season and it all goes wrong in the second season. Like, very few managers have such a shocking start and then it's just like it gets better.
Well, the last
Usually
manager,
they're gone by then.
yeah, exactly. The last manager that had a similar start was Nuno. And Nuno was gone after 10 games.
Even Poch was much better than this in his first season.
Yeah, for sure. But Poch, it got progressively better. This seems to be like getting progressively worse.
Exactly. The more they're playing, it's like they're having less understanding. It makes no sense.
Yeah. All right, so that is the way the internet did react to the game yesterday. I'm so glad that's over now. We don't have to talk about this game in the depth that we did. But just a shocking day all round. We do have a Tottenham update to bring to you, so let's get that up. But let me just... Yeah. All right, we ready for the Tottenham update? All right, let's get into this Tottenham update because there is an update regarding Luka Vuskovic. As Graham Bailey says that Tottenham have rejected inquiries from some major European clubs, including Bayern Munich and RB Leipzig, regarding Luka Vuskovic. Some people in the Spurs hierarchy believe that Vuskovic should be recalled from his loan in January.
Oh, can we do that? If we can do it, I'll do it. Why not?
Do you think that is the best thing for us and him to recall him in terms of his development?
I don't care. Development, long term, blah, blah, blah. Let me get Vuskovic in a Tottenham shirt. I'm so bored. Maybe he'll do a scorpion kick. I just want to see it. I don't care anymore.
So you would bring him back in January?
Bring him back.
But then who's he playing instead of?
Put him in. So play it back free.
Romero, Vuskovic, Van de Ven?
Yeah. Let's do it. I'm just sick of this football at the moment. I just want to see something to get excited about.
The thing is, if Vuskovic is getting like these inquiries from Bayern Munich and he's looking over at Spurs being like, do I really have to go back there? Like, where do you think his head's at? Like, surely like he'll be thinking
Bayern,
like, surely
Bayern for this season?
Don't know. For the summer, I'm guessing.
Maybe we need to get him back as soon as possible, get him starting again.
I don't know. Do you want to get him back in this environment? Like, is it really going to suggest like, all right, this is the place for your future?
Well, as long as he's playing, maybe he'll be happy. I don't know. I don't think he thinks he should be playing for Bayern just yet. Maybe he does. I don't know. But I doubt he thinks, I should be starting for Bayern.
Yeah, he might not think that because he left Tottenham because he wanted first team football. So if he doesn't think he can get into the Tottenham team, how does he think he's going to get into the Bayern team?
Right, but if he starts playing for Spurs and because...
But my point is that if Bayern Munich are making inquiries about you and you're looking over at Tottenham being like, well, which is actually the best place for my future? Is it going to be at Tottenham or is it going to be at Bayern?
How much can we demand for him?
God knows.
So I think he hasn't played a game for Tottenham yet. I don't think he'll be any rush to go anywhere. But maybe he still might start looking over things if things are continuing like they are.
Yeah. But yeah, we need him, man. That's how much we're in the mud, mate. We're like, get this 18-year-old centre-back that's never played in the Premier League before.
I'm all for it. Maybe he can get some...
He's going to change all of our fortunes this season if we get him back in January. Pedro Porro, Team Talker, reporting that Porro has had preliminary talks with Tottenham about signing a new deal. The 26-year-old is currently earning less than 100 grand a week and is due for a significant pay rise. However, Man City are showing an interest in a potential swoop for 2026.
He's perfect for City, to be honest. I think he would fit right in a Man City. I think.
Well, they had him. They let him go, didn't they?
I know. I think it was a mistake. They could say they'll probably sign him back, and he'll probably be amazing. If I'm Porro and City, if he's get any whiff of a City interest, I ain't signing no deal.
Yeah. When's his deal actually run out?
Hopefully, I think I would give him a new pay rise. I know he's not in great form, but
2028.
I don't think we're getting much better than him.
So in the summer, it's 2 years.
2 years. So yeah, I think we should offer him a deal.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Pedro, are you even signing that deal
That's
right
what I'm
now?
saying. If there's a whiff of City, then no. But if we can get him signed a new deal, I'll do it.
The thing is with a lot of these players, like, why would they sign deals right now? Like a lot of like your Mickey Van der Bens, like your Pedro Porros, when they know like they could just run down their contract and get even more money at the end of it.
It's true. If I was their agent, I'd always advise running it down.
Yeah. And even if you run it down, you've still got the option to sign a new one at your club. You know what I mean?
For more money. More money they're offering you.
Yeah, so the options are always open. There's no incentive now for players just to sign a contract. I don't even know why Romero did that in the summer.
Yep, I agree.
Team Talk also reporting that Tottenham are plotting a January move for James Trafford. Spurs have had talks earlier in December, one of the clubs with the best chance of landing the keeper. Tottenham is seen as one of the best destinations for James Trafford. And like, look, James Trafford's a good keeper, like, for the future, but he played a few games for Man City earlier on in the season. I thought he was shocking.
Yeah, made some mistakes. A lot of people have been very excited about the prospect of it, though. I've seen on the Tacticos Classic. I think he's the kind of keeper Frank wants, to be honest, or Frank will like. Is he ready for the Premier League yet? I don't. One thing Premier League, is he ready for a top 6 team?
Well, he showed that at Man City he wasn't at the start of the season.
Yeah, but maybe if you give him some game time, maybe give him like half a season, maybe he'll get up to it. I don't know. I think I wouldn't mind. I think it'd be better if we signed him as a backup. But I think obviously not what he wants.
I think James Trafford is a very good young goalkeeper, and I think he will be very good in the future. But I've seen nothing to suggest that he can come in and be our number one and be better than Vicario at this moment in time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And last but not least, a report in Spain from El Periódico Mediterráneo says that Solomon is frustrated with his lack of game time at Villarreal and could seek to return to Tottenham when the transfer window opens in January. There is a clause in his loan deal between the two clubs that allows him to terminate the agreement, which would allow him to end his loan time at the La Liga club. It would not be ideal for Tottenham were Solomon to return in January, although they would not be short of suitors to take him if he does become available. West Ham have shown interest, and more recently Leeds have been linked to re-signing him as well, following his successful loan spell last season at Ellen Road. So, I mean, if there is a clause like that Solomon is the one that could just cancel this loan and come back to Tottenham, I don't see why he wouldn't do that and try push for another move, because he's not getting any sort of game time in Spain.
Yeah, he needs to sort himself out. Any chance he comes back into the Tottenham team?
I mean, I don't see why not. Like, why not?
A big hole there. But the thing is, everyone's desperate for us to sign a left winger. I don't think we just go with Solomon.
Yeah, I agree with that. But let's say we don't sign a left winger.
Then why not? If a deadline day recall.
Well, he's saying like it could happen early days. Like, look, the reality is we should bring him back, get 10 million or whatever it is for him from Leeds or West Ham or wherever it may be, and go get a good left winger.
Yeah.
That's what we should do. That's what a normal club would do.
And also, I don't know if you have it, but I was watching Ali Gold's video, and he said from what he's hearing, that he's hearing that Brennan is just not in Frank's plans, and they might be willing to sell in January.
Wow. That's bad as well, because I swear Frank tried to sign Brennan for Brentford.
He did.
So I thought,
he'd be lucky, you'd be happy to have him.
Yeah.
And he just hasn't, I don't know, he just doesn't do what he needs, or maybe he just thinks doesn't do what he wants him to do. I don't know. He just hasn't really. He did start with the season with him, and he scored a few goals, but the last couple months, he's just barely played, barely been involved. Interesting.
So look, we spoke about the reports last week, didn't we, from Mike McGrath?
I think I'll take a good bid, yeah.
And I think it makes sense. I think he'll suit Crystal Palace. He'll suit an Ole Glasner team. And if he's got no plans here. But the thing is, like, if there is no future with Thomas Frank here, maybe the next manager will like Brennan Johnson. So it's just like, which way do you go with it? Do you give these transfer windows now to Frank and getting players that he wants? Like, what do we do?
I still think Brennan, as much as we all love him, we all know he's definitely upgradable, isn't he? So
yeah.
I think if we get a good offer, I'm happy to sell, to be honest. But as long as that means we're getting a good upgrade.
Yeah. But look, that is your Tottenham update for today. That is your live stream for today as well. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you all tomorrow. But thank you and goodbye. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.